Black Lives Matters turns 10, and KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to be the exclusive media partner of the People's Justice Festival. This Saturday, July 15th, 12 to 6 p.m. in Leimert Park. Come join us as we celebrate the life-saving and history-making work of Black Lives Matter to help bend the arc of the moral universe toward justice. There will be live music performances, a children's village, giveaways, vendors, a healing justice space, Skillshare, and amazing speakers including Green Party presidential candidate Dr. Cornel West, live on stage at 4:30 p.m. For more information, go to blmgrassroots.org. That's www.blmgrassroots.org. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley will be main stage hosts throughout the day, and the KBLA Talk 1580 delegation will be out in full force. So, join us this Saturday, July 15th, 12 to 6 p.m. in Leimert Park as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of Black Lives Matter. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I done plant my seeds, now I'm rooted. Brown skin popping, I'm rooted. Can pull the hood out me, I'm rooted. Rooted, nappy head, rooted, rooted.
Right here.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
Is this for you? Welcome forward. You are checking out the second hour of RSVP with Jill Munroe. If you are checking us out on YouTube, I hope that you made the switch over to the new video for the second hour. Now, before we left you, I was asking Trent the artist, what are his thoughts on Aretha stipulating that her sons need to attend business school and get some formal training to handle her publishing catalog and assets?
Good for her, and good for them. Not only is she setting them up for a long-term investment, she's teaching them how to manage it, and setting them up for generational wealth. Maybe it was something that they couldn't do when they were coming up because, they had this famous mother, probably trying to protect their identities or whatnot. So I actually think this is a good and a smart thing because a lot of the times we get left, large sums of money, assets, that can, make money for years on end, and we don't know how to properly manage that because we've never had the opportunity or the experience before. It's for me, it's just an all-around protection of her asset. Very smart. And it's certain things in my will too that I stipulated. It's like, can't do this, can't do that, this person can, and you can't unless you put it out there. But Aretha didn't do that. She just said she wanted them because theoretically, and we've seen a lot of these deals go down, especially over the past couple of weeks. Nelly just sold partial, I'm not sure if it was all his catalog, but a number of his hits for $50 million. We know Future sold his catalog. I think Justin Timberlake sold partial one. We know Tina Turner did shortly before she passed a few months ago. So it's something that is happening because the reality too is everyone's always like, no, you should hold on to those assets. You should hold on to them. But at the same time, not everyone knows, to your point about her sending them to business school, what to do with them. So you hold on to them, but how do you license them? How do you get them in a film? Who's looking for it? How do you keep up with all of that? Pretty Brown Mimi in the chat, she said, why do celebrities have issues with their wills? Michael Jackson, Prince, Aretha Franklin. I think a part of it is just something that happens with a lot of people is not wanting to face your own, the fact that you are not immortal, the fact that there's an end game to this. It's going to happen, and just thinking that you have time and that you'll get around to it. I mean, we discussed the situation with John Singleton last night. Same with him. He hadn't updated his will before his untimely passing. Terry mentioned Tony Curtis also had the same problem. Isn't Tony Curtis Jamie Lee Curtis's father? Yeah, Janet Leigh and Jamie Lee. Yeah, that's some old Hollywood like regular tea, but yeah, that's what that is. So I think that we all probably have a
hard time dealing with the inevitable of what's going to change. Or even if you take care of it in one phase, life sometimes takes us down different roads, different directions, and we don't know where we're going to end up, and we think we have time to change it, or I'll get to that. I don't necessarily feel that way, or I have this added in, I want to make that up, and we lose track of that.
It's a very, very uncomfortable topic for most people, but then also what people don't realize too is that celebrities genuinely don't have a lot of time to dedicate to normal things, everyday things. And they delegate a lot of these things sometimes to people, and those people, we've heard about it, they are unsavory, don't have their best interest. So again, I think a lot of these old school celebrities just had this mentality of, let somebody else kind of deal with it.
I mean, but not Aretha. I mean, not we're not just talking about her, but Aretha demanded to be paid in cash, and she's like, put it in my purse.
She was old school with a lot of stuff that she did. Cash in the mattress for sure.
Well, when we come forward, we will have filmmaker Jeremy Baptiste and actor Nate Walker. They're going to talk about their project, When We Grow Up. It's featured in the Micheaux Film Festival as well. All that and more. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm James Alexander, a proud member of AARP. 1967, I was 17. That spring, my friends, the Barcades, and I made Soulfinger. It was a hit. Number 3 on the charts. That summer, we became the great Otis Redding's band. First gig, the famed Apollo. That fall, we toured. That winter found me in a morgue identifying the bodies of my bandmates and Otis Redding. My music and their memories bring me joy. The Barcades, forever.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/blackcommunity.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe. You are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe, and I have two guests with me. We're just going to call this Micheaux Film Festival night because we are welcoming more filmmakers, more actors that are featured in the upcoming, well, the film festival is actually happening now through this weekend, but we'll talk about that more in a little bit. We have Mr. Jeremy Baptiste and Nate Walker here. I'm so excited. Welcome to RSVP, gentlemen. You're now VIP stamped officially.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Much appreciate that, yeah.
So your project is titled When We Grow Up. It's a TV pilot. It's featured in the film festival. Tell me a little bit about that, because I thought the premise was really intriguing.
You want to?
No, go ahead. Kick it off.
When we grow up, it's like a coming-of-age story for 30-year-olds where we're just literally just trying to figure out. We don't have life figured out. We're just trying to figure things out. And you're going to go through these different characters' lives and kind of follow each of them. They each have their own little arc. And so I don't want to give away too much of it, but just think of it like this coming-of-age story for 30-year-olds in this world where it's like everything is so crazy and like you're supposed to have life figured out, but we just, what are we supposed to be doing?
For sure. I think it's I think it does a good job of showing how like throughout life we all get to a breaking point, right? Like you feel like you know exactly what you want to do. Oh, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be this is the career I want to do. And then you're into it for 10 years and you realize you're not happy. So the film does a good job of exploring what that's like, and how, people are 35 and they end up feeling lost in the world when they feel like they should have a very strong grasp on where they're at. And so that's really what the film gets into, and it's dope. It's fun to be a part of, for sure.
So is that something that you both experienced going through life, that moment when you're like, am I where I'm supposed to be?
Let me tell you,
Yes.
it was method. Like it was definitely method. I came ready to the plate, ready to let it all fly.
You understood
out.
every single emotion.
Totally.
For
Absolutely.
sure. My character in the short, his name is Derek, and he's a doctor. And yeah, obviously it takes a lot of work to get there, and then, you think, I don't want to do this, so you feel like you've just wasted your time. And that's very real for me. And before I came to Los Angeles, like I was not thinking about doing entertainment at all. Oh, my bad. But no, before I was moving to Los Angeles, I was not thinking about doing entertainment at all. It came at me very fast. It was a surprise. I uprooted everything that I had going on, and it's
Where
scary.
Are you from?
I moved here from Virginia, originally Georgia, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And I'll just talk about my character. My character, his name is Frank, and he is a commercial photographer and videographer, and he gets into this realm of photography, but he's unhappy because he wants to be directing and doing more fulfilling creative things, and so he gets in a rut. And my wife in the short, she's an actress, and she goes through, it starts off with her booking the biggest role of her life, and she's about to start off, like a huge career, and then you just kind of watch it all kind of fall apart throughout the episode. And won't give away too much, but this is our pilot episode, and we're hoping to get more eyes on it so that we can continue to develop it more, and put more episodes out there so you can watch the arcs of all these characters. And yeah, I think it's a great project.
When does it debut at the film festival?
It's going to be Friday in the 10:30 block at the Micheaux Film
10:30
Festival.
a.m. or 10:30 p.m.?
10:30 p.m.
Okay.
Sorry, I need my night owls to come out there and see us.
And we want to shout out the directors like, Michael Landry and Madeline Mack. They are incredible people. The way that they put this together, they made a very collaborative effort for all of us actors to actually develop our characters. It's a whole amazing story behind all that. And then we have Brandon, who is also producing. So just wanted to give a shout out to them.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have asked for a better creative team.
Yeah.
So what is that like in that collaborative process? Because you mentioned that having a lot of input on your characters, and that is not generally something that comes with, when you get an acting role. So what is that experience like for you when you're working?
It was cool because, it leans into the type of work that you have to do as an actor anyway, right? Like you present me with the role and a character, and you get the breakdown in the background, and then you start doing all of this work to figure out how you relate to that character, what that character is going through, their motivations and what they want. So it just kind of puts you in the writer's chair a little bit, where they're just like, hey, this is what we feel about this character. Based off of this, what do you think, we should add? What layers do you feel like should be added for that character? And you don't always get to do that, so that was cool.
They let us speak like in our own voice, like through the character. We made like character playlists of like type of music that they would listen to. So like we really had like an immersive experience of building these characters before we had even showed up to set. So it was a really cool hands-on project to be that involved with the writing process.
So I think it showed up in the work too. Am I spoiled?
Are you spoiled? Is that how you're really gonna like that experience? Is that something you want to carry with you on different projects and other projects?
It wouldn't be a bad thing. I'll tell you that.
Nate produces, so he's already on that train.
It was fun. I think I enjoyed that process. I do enjoy when I'm given something and there's already a ton of layers there, because there's things that like I can find that would be different from myself, or that I wouldn't necessarily think about.
Okay.
But I do appreciate that though. Like it was really cool. Like it was dope.
So as actors and as filmmakers, I really only have a couple of more hours to talk to you guys about this because of the impending strike. How do you feel about the Writers Guild strike that is taking place and the impending SAG strike that is likely going to happen in a couple of hours?
I think it's necessary, man. I think it's super necessary. Pay them people their money.
Yeah.
Pay us our money.
Hey, when you got money to book Arnold Schwarzenegger on a TV series, man, you got residuals to fork out.
There's more than enough money to go around.
Yeah.
I don't. It should be a non-issue.
Yeah.
And especially like did you see the article that came out today?
And Deadline. We talked about that earlier. That they are going to.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like the balls to just be like, yo, we just gonna wait y'all out till y'all lose y'all apartments. Like what?
Like that.
Who says that? That's crazy.
Nuts, man.
So I'm honestly hoping at midnight that SAG that we just jump on board off the strength, because that's wild to say. And they need to pay everybody. They're making enough money.
I mean, beyond that, I also heard that there was some infighting because the WGA didn't. Not the WGA. The what is it? The
DGA?
Not the DGA. The
AMTP.
The AMTT. They, not everybody was on board with releasing that messaging. That they thought that it was short-sighted and that it would make them look bad. So there's a lot of, from what we hear, alleged infighting going on that side. So
I believe it. If I was in there, I'm like, y'all put that out into the news for everybody to see that.
Yeah, for everybody to hear that.
Yeah, nah, I believe that for sure. But I think hopefully it pushes us in the right direction and it gives the writers the courage to to hold the line.
Yeah.
One of the things that I heard about as far as with for actors is that AI is obviously involved in both heavily, but I was reading, there's a director named Justine Bateman. She was like a former child actor in the 80s, and she tweets a lot about different things because she's a member of all three guilds, the DGA, WGA, and SAG. And she was saying that one of the things that she envisions happening from conversations is that if you, let's say you did a film, like you have an upcoming project, you're in Beverly Hills Cop 4, right? So let's say your character in that, we won't get into what that is yet, obviously we can't, but let's just say your character in LA Cop 3, all right? That you're the character in LA Cop 3.
Right.
And your character in that, they decided that they wanted to spin that character off digitally. You, when you signed your contract for LA Cop 3, signed away your AI rights. So they can take you, your likeness, your voice, create a series based off of that and not have to pay you the performance rights or the residuals backing off of that and completely eliminate you out of the equation. So those are some of the things that you're fighting for. So what do you guys think about the AI landscape in general?
I mean, I'll say that it's a bit scary. I am impressed with the technology. It is wild. I mean, it is fascinating, but at the same time, like when it comes down to, using my likeness without real consent, or trying to pull a fast one on me so that you can do something like that, or, cutting stunt actors out of the deal because now you can do AI, a whole special effects thing.
Extras.
So it's like you're putting so many people out of work now because of this. And so, from a conscious standpoint, like, what type of producer, director do you want to be? What side of the fence do you want to be on? Do you want to, share the prosperity and let us all grow as the human race, or do you want to like give it to some computer?
I
So,
mean, it's a tough decision because you see how it can help, but you also see the harm that it can cause.
1,010%. Yeah.
So another thing that's buzzing around today is obviously the Emmy nominations dropped, and there's been a lot of chatter as to whether or not black shows have been snubbed in that. So I just want to know, there were a number of nominations for black artists, but some people felt that there are certain shows that are being overlooked. So how do you feel about awards in general and kind of, the nominations and categories without, nothing to get you in trouble? That's why I said general.
You want to
Go ahead.
Me, I don't know how to beat around that bush. I feel like, as far as black entertainers, we've been snubbed in a lot of ways for a very long time. I don't think, if I get in trouble for that, it is what it is. Y'all can go back and the proof is in the pudding. It's all there. You've seen plenty of talented artists not get their just due. So hopefully we're moving in a direction that that will be handled better in the future. But yeah, there's been plenty of snubs. I haven't seen the list this year. The only thing I did go look to check and see was to make sure Dominic Fishback got
Shout out to her for
she
Swarm.
ate. Man, she
Listen.
ate. She ate.
Listen.
She ate. There's nothing left. There's nothing left.
No crumbs
Nothing,
at all.
Nothing.
So,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Kind of along those lines, do you think, though, that there is too much emphasis placed on things like the Emmys and Oscars when we have other organizations that honor our work, our films, the things that put out and support them? I understand the legacy and what it means, but do we place too much on something that is not out of our control, but obviously hasn't been, to this point, really catered for us?
I think in general, I think that we do put a lot of value on these credentials, and it can pit some of us against one another in terms of how we are as a community. And I think that in general, we really should just be looking at everybody as equally talented individuals that are bringing something to the table, and that it's really about the narrative at the end of the day, not the individualization and these individualized credentials. You know what I mean? What is your part in the story, and what is the overall story, and how is it impacting people's minds and hearts? That's what we're here to do.
Do you think that every story needs to educate or impact in that way? Is it just
not necessarily? It doesn't have to have a major impact, but if it changes my mood from a bad mood to a good mood, right, done deal. You know what I mean? That's why we come to the table, to be entertainers, right? We're trying to just uplift people out of whatever reality they're dealing with, right? Or let them escape to get out of whatever they're dealing with.
Absolutely.
And so that's it.
So I have to ask, because obviously you guys are, focused on When We Grow Up right now, that
yes,
you guys can check out at the Micheaux Film Festival in downtown LA. And we know that there's a sort of blackout until after the film festival, but will we be able to check this out online? Are there other projects that you have working on or that you've worked on previously that we can get a feel for your work?
There will be, if you go on Instagram, you can go to WWGU series, and you can get more information. We're going to be putting out links to actually watch the pilot if you're not able to make it to the festival. So that'll be up probably shortly on that, probably in the next day or two on the IG. We also have a website, which I believe is www.guseries.com as well. I'm not sure if that's exactly right, but I'm pretty sure.
Close. It's close,
sure.
Right?
But if you put in a Google search "When We Grow Up" series, you will definitely find some hits. And Nate, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you hit it on the money with When We Grow Up.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure everywhere that it's going to be. Like you said, this one isn't necessarily our baby. We kind of just got brought to the table, so that's really going to be up to Mike and Brandon
and Maddie, yeah,
and Maddie.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Hopefully it's everywhere. I want people to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's our main thing, is we want as many eyes and ears on this right now, because I think people are going to fall in love with these characters and they're going to want to see more episodes. We have some really huge surprises and stuff that we had in our package deal, to bring in some other characters and other actors that we're really fond of, and we hope that we get to their parts.
Amazing. So what about what other projects you're currently working on, or where people can, check you out just in general and see your work? catch up with you?
Yes, I mean, most recently I was in an episode of Quantum Leap. So if you caught that, I want to say that was like 3 weeks ago, something like that.
So go check it out on Peacock.
Go check it out. And then I also have another short film that's making rounds in film festivals right now. It's called Clones, and it's serving as a proof of concept for a larger project as well.
Clones is a big topic right now. There's been a lot of conversation about clones, you know.
What I mean? Yeah.
We'll talk about that another time. No, I'm just playing.
It's a great project. It's hilarious. Sure. I can't wait for y'all to see that.
For sure. Actually, he helped out on that because, like you said, he also he and his partner they do sound editing and they produce sound and music. So they definitely did the sound edit for that short film, and it has won awards.
Yeah.
It has won the Stars award for best concept fiction. It's doing very well. Tons of meetings. Fingers crossed that once this strike ends, something bigger will happen because obviously that is all shut down right now.
Right.
But
it will. That project is too good to pass up.
So while we've watched over the weeks or whatever as different productions have shut down and so forth, how does that impact you guys personally? Do you just go and work on other projects or other things that you have going, or how does that fall out? Will we see you on the strike lines? Should they agree?
For sure. I've definitely, I've been out there with the writers. I have a lot of friends who are writers, so I've definitely been picketing. And if SAG joins, then I will be out there more, for sure. But yeah, you just have to, like, obviously, you got to pay rent. I'm not Will Smith, so I don't just get to kick it in the crib. I'm not chilling. Like, I got to go find ways to make money. I got bills.
Same. I'm picketing as well. I was just at Warner Brothers lot yesterday. And SAG is.
Oh, that was the black one too.
Yeah, that was the black one.
They had people out there stepping in some more stuff.
It was so much fun.
I synced it.
Good. But I synced it. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a rough market right now. I mean, like even for me, it's like just trying to find just side work because everybody's looking for side work in LA. So like for me, I'm even thinking like maybe I go to Texas and just wait it out. That's where I'm from because I'm like, it's life goes on.
Right. There's a lot of decisions you have to make with that.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting time in the industry right now, but so I hope we all get our flowers and we all get our residuals back.
For sure. Because some of those residual checks are late. There's some comments for you guys in the chat. T. Sworn says it sounds like it's going to be a dope film. Cool key elements to keep it authentic and connecting with the streets. So they appreciate. It's a pilot. I said film, but
we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all.
It was shot on film, yes.
And Pretty Brown Mimi says it sounds like a powerful story. She'd love to check it out. So people are feeling you. They can't wait to see it more. I want to thank you guys for clocking in with me tonight on RSVP with Jill Munroe. Once again, tell everybody where they can find you at on social media.
So my name's Nate Walker, and you can find me at Mr. MR_Nate Walker.
And I'm Jeremy Baptiste, and you can find me on Instagram at JC Baptiste, Batiste.
So make sure you guys are following them to check out everything that they do. Make sure that you can, wherever you can, when you can find it, check out When We Grow Up. Amazing. Tell us one more time when it drops at the Micheaux Film Festival. Late night, date night.
Hey.
Friday at 10:30.
That's it.
10:30 block.
All right, when we come forward, you will have more trending topics. Up next is news and sports. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
But she packed my suitcase and sent me on my way. She gave me a kiss and then she gave me my ticket. I put my Walkman on and said I might as well kick it. First class, yo, this is bad. Drinking orange juice out of a champagne glass. Is this what the people of Bel Air living like? This might be all right.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is visiting Finland after wrapping up a key NATO summit in Lithuania. Biden will hold a bilateral meeting with the president of Finland in Helsinki on Thursday. Finland officially became the 31st member of NATO in April, marking a major shift in the security landscape in northeastern Europe. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin will soon be returning to Cincinnati, Ohio, bringing training that aims to save sports players' lives. Back in January, Hamlin collapsed during a Monday Night Football game against the Bengals after he he suffered a cardiac event. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up to $750 million. Nobody has won the Powerball's top prize in nearly 3 months. The jackpot has a cash option of $378.8 million. Meanwhile, the Mega Millions jackpot is up to $560 million after there wasn't a winner in last night's drawing. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Water. All of life depends on it. So, for the love of water, California, everyone has a part to play when it comes to reducing water waste. Let's make conservation a way of life. Find ways to conserve at SaveOurWater.com.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You should have been downtown. The people are rising. We thought it was a lockdown. They opened the fire. Them bullets was flying. Who said it was a lockdown? Goddamn lie. Oh my, time heals all, but you out of time now. Judge gotta watch us from the clock tower. Little tear gas cleared the whole place out.
So I think that we should probably start a RSVP playlist. I think that that might be a good idea. I think that we should, get that, because Andy, is digging in the crates, pulling out stuff, pulling out little special concoctions. I appreciate it. Now, is that Q-tip rapping? I'm unsure. It sounds familiar.
Jill, it's
Jill, I'm disappointed.
It's Kendrick Lamar and is it Kendrick Lamar? And it's the guy. It's Anderson .Paak, I think.
Anderson .Paak and Kendrick Lamar. Okay,
Shrek got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, listen, I only got one good headphone ear today, so apologies if I picked up the wrong thing. We're gonna let that be the reason. Let that be the reason. So, Trent.
What's up?
In addition to, we talked briefly about all the Jamie Foxx sightings that we've seen over the days. We're glad that he is recovered, right?
Is he really recovered?
I don't know. What I will say really quickly, because obviously I love Jamie Foxx. I think Jamie Foxx is a legend, the ultimate entertainer, just all of these things.
Yes.
But I do find it curious that he's just on a tour around Chicago, saving people's purses on a yacht, on a pickleball court, in the same ensemble, in the same look. Hair looks a little different in each photo. I don't know what's going on, but
it's a lot of that going on, because I know someone who a celebrity, don't know them personally, but I have seen them look about 3 or 4 different ways in a week's time, and it's just really weird. And I have a friend, I have been texting her back and forth. I'm like, does this look weird to you? And, we have our theories, but it's a lot of people out here saying that they one person, but they don't look nothing like the person, and then you start talking to them and don't match. It's some weird stuff. I think it's...
Are you talking about catfish?
I think it's walking AI is taking over. It's going too far. It's AI. Yeah.
Speaking of, T. Swarns in the chat said, or is it AI?
Yes.
So he's on the same vibe as you.
Swarns,
AI Jamie.
my man's. That it's an AI.
Well, listen, that was not my intended topic about Jamie, but I just thought we'd mention that and drop that down. So Jamie Foxx is one of the producers on a documentary that is going to be exploring the life, career, and legacy of Luther Vandross.
I love it.
It's Jamie, it's a gentleman named Colin Firth, and Sony Music, and they have come together in production on the first nonfiction look into Luther's life. And we know Luther is a classic a Taurus. I just had to put that out there, April 20th, Taurus. And so we're going to get a look at his life. We know that Luther's career, he was a superstar, love songs, but we know that unfortunately he didn't get to fully be able to express himself and be who he is. My eye is watering. Sorry, y'all. during his life. So I'm sure that the series is going to address some of that. It is being directed by award-winning filmmaker Dawn Porter. I'm actually going to be speaking with her next week about another project that she has coming out. She has several documentaries. Jamie Foxx released a statement, not on video, but a statement was released, and it says, Luther is one of our GOATs. He is one of the greatest singers in the history of music, and it is truly an honor to be a part of this. So, Trent, what do you think about the impending Luther Vandross doc? Are you in? Are you on board? Are you curious about Luther's life?
I'm definitely on board. To my knowledge, there hasn't been a project or a documentary about him. He's kind of one of these people that, legacy artist that has been kind of lost in the shuffle. And, it's really, really good to see somebody just, tackle the legacy, tackle the story, and bring it to the audience because, this young generation, he's one of these people that we grew up listening to on Saturday morning during the Cleanup Crew campaign.
Soul Train Special.
All that. And we kind of lost that. And so I think that the story needs to be explored. I'm here for it.
Okay.
Because we've got too many Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston documentaries. So
I mean, yeah.
Give us something different.
Give us something different.
Yeah.
They actually have consulted with a writer who is on Twitter. His name is Craig. I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
Craig Stewart?
No. Who is Craig Stewart?
Oh, wrong person.
Craig Seymour.
Yes, that one, Seymour.
Okay, so
he's written several.
He's written a book about Luther Vandross' life, a biopic, and so they reached out to him for some of the audio clips and that. So there's a chance that we'll get to hear.
I think he worked for Billboard a long time ago.
He did.
Wrote a lot of articles, interviewed Janet a lot too.
He did. He actually, one of the Janet Jackson cover stories he did was when I worked at Virgin.
Okay.
So he actually did a cover story for Janet. This was for the All For You album, I believe. He also did one for the album after that was not on, I think the one that was on Def Jam. I'm not sure. I feel like it was Demita Joe, but not. I feel like it might have been something else.
Discipline came right after Demita Joe.
Okay. Which album had the single with Nelly? Call on You.
That was 20YO.
Okay. Well, then it wasn't Def Jam yet. It was that album, which I believe was her last album for Virgin.
Yep.
Yep. So there's that. So we are looking forward to seeing Luther. Now, as we discussed briefly about the Emmy nominations coming out, and we were kind of looking at, my definition, well, not so much a definition, but of what shows I would consider a black show and which ones I wouldn't. So some of the complaints about actors or performances that people feel were robbed in this voting, one of them was Damson Idris, who stars in Snowfall.
Yes.
Franklin Saint. People felt that his portrayal throughout all the seasons of Snowfall, but in particular, this last one where he went very dark, so dark, as we've discussed, he said he summoned the devil in order to be able to bring that performance forth. A little far, but...
Very. Wow.
So they said that Damson Idris, they're also very disappointed that J. Alphonse Nicholson, who plays Lil Murder on P-Valley, that he wasn't nominated.
Wow.
They also mentioned other performances that they felt were skipped out on. Let's see.
It's so interesting. Even after all the conversations that we had about award shows and seasons and how we've been, what is it, Oscar blackout and all these things, that we're still relying on these shows or to validate, and whatever, and I get it. It's tied into, more dollars. It's tied into more views and all that. But come on. Let the NAACP awards validate who you are, and let's just keep it pushing. Okay? Have a good night. End of discussion. Let's move on.
I agree. And I also think that, so here's the catch-22, right? Because as I mentioned, there are several nominees that are, Abbott Elementary got nominated in several categories. Quinta got nominated for her performance on SNL as a special guest star. I think, let me go to the list since I
I think that most black people, we just want to see other black people, nominated. And it's unfortunate that we have to kind of just not, and this is the wrong term to say it, but I don't even want to say this, but in lack of a better term, kind of take what we can get, in these situations. It will be ideal to have a show like Snowfall, a show like P-Valley nominated for an Emmy, but we already know how they roll.
So when we come forward, we'll get into that a little more. Plus, I'll break down some of the nominees that we saw. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe, writing here with Trent the artist, and we were just having a conversation. So, Trent.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
What was I talking about again? Anyway, so I forgot my point exactly, but we should really stop seeking outside validation from these places. And, you know, with everything that's going on, I think that it will be the turning point in us being more unified in what we do in our art. But I also think that Black people are just excited to see representation no matter what it is. So, you know, Abbott Elementary is not a Black show. It's a kind of, it's, you know, we know what it is. It's a very comfortable,
a slice of life show.
Yeah.
I mean, there are Black characters. It was created by a Black woman, and I'm not taking anything away from it by saying that it's not a Black show. I think that that is perfectly okay. I think that we are allowed to have shows where we're just existing, where it doesn't just necessarily have to be about us being Black. You know, I think that that is how we are able to get all viewpoints out.
And but it always comes down to that, you know, anyway, at the end of the day. But, you know, it's cool that we do have some representation in the room. And I think because it's, Quinta, that where she comes from and all the work that she's put in, she's one of these people that is at the table but also can make change with, her platform and employing and uplifting and changing the narrative for us.
So some of the other nominees, Dominique Fishback, we mentioned earlier for Swarm. She did her thing.
Yes. Who's your
listen.
favorite artist?
Right. You better say Naja. Listen, she killed that. She was so creepy in that to me. I've been following her since she was on this HBO series a few years ago that was kind of about the adult film industry and its roots in New York. And she was amazing in that. She was amazing in Judas and the Black Messiah. What's the one that she had with Jamie Foxx? Oh, another Jamie Foxx sighting. Power, not Power, but it's Power something. I'm going to look it up and give you the name. Side note, Andy brought to our attention that Jamie Foxx did post on social media today. Not his face, not his voice, but he posted to promote his movie, They Cloned Tyrone, which is coming out on Netflix July 21st. He said that he hears the rumors, he hears the gossip, the buzzing. He said they didn't clone him, but they cloned Tyrone. Jamie, I don't think that they cloned you, but body double, I don't know.
This in Hollywood, this could very well be, because people are very much aware of the conversation around them, he might troll. So he very well could be well and alive and on the mend and having fun with the fact that people are saying that he's now a clone in AI by sending out a body double, by sending it, and just to troll and have a little fun with it, because that's what you do at that point. What else do you do?
Right. I agree with that. Let me give you some more of the nominees that are, block. Janelle James of Abbott Elementary. We know she is hysterical. She plays Principal Ava. Sheryl Lee Ralph, Abbott Elementary. Again, we know she won an Emmy last year. Sheryl Lee Ralph has been on a run, and I'm so happy for her because, she has been working since the 70s, since she was a teenager in film, in classic films with, our Black elite as far as actors and actresses. Been on Broadway, originated the role of Dina Jones in Dreamgirls and all of that. So it's good to see her getting her flowers. Another nominee is Jessica Williams, and she is on the show Shrinking, which is an Apple TV Plus, series that you should check out. Again, not a black show, but a very good show. I like Jessica. She was on a show called it doesn't matter anymore because HBO is taking it away, but it was an excellent show with called Love. Listen, I'm jacking up these names. Let me stick to the focus before I start confusing myself. So anyway, who else was nominated? Obviously, Niecy Nash was one of the stars of the Dahmer series that we saw on Netflix.
Yes.
That has been nominated for Best Limited Series. So, we like that. That was a horrific series, obviously based on a tragic situation, but that series was amazing. Niecy was nominated for Best Actress in that, along with, I think she's the only black woman in that category. Yes, she is. But there are other, women of color along with white women. And so that's around it, That's what happened. I mean, there are things like in the Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series category, every nominee came from White Lotus or Succession. I watched both of those shows. They are amazing. They are excellent. But one has to wonder, are the voters, and I am not an Emmy voter, I'm not in that, but I am a TV and film critic, so I do vote on awards during award season and so forth. And sometimes I wonder, because they do campaigns, studios spend a lot of money to promote their shows. Are these writers, are these critics getting the same access and exposure to a Snowfall or Jay Alfonso's role on P-Valley as they are to things like Succession and White Lotus? Because as great as those shows are, and obviously this was the last season for Succession, and there were some amazing performances, the fact that only 2 shows are nominated in that category seems a little crazy. Seems like you are not getting the full breadth of what is out there.
Well, it's a buyout. It's obviously marketing dollars and power plays big studio money at work, and that's what we're looking at.
And also just wanted to add in, the ceremony is scheduled to be September 18th. Now, here's the thing. if we are in a Screen Actors Guild strike and a writer's strike, that award ceremony is very much going to look like pandemic era time. So we're not sure what will be up and what's going to happen with it. Again, no writers because you can't write for it, and they'll be standing in solidarity. Probably won't be a host because
it's good to see people in their natural element, though. They all had good improv training, and now they can put it to use.
But the actors and they won't be there to participate because they cannot promote any film and TV projects while they're striking.
So why are they having it?
Because it's still a moneymaker and it's still reserved, and things are bought and paid for a long time in advance, and they're still going to give those awards. Studios still put money out there. Bills got to be paid. It will be produced by Jesse Collins Entertainment again. They produce the BET Awards. They produce the Oscars. Probably one of your favorite reality show performances they have put on. So here's your reminder that for the second hour, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're checking out the live stream, make sure you switch over to the third hour for that video. And coming up in that hour, we are going to discuss a new thing. I've been getting a lot of referrals and conversations around Tubi movies. So Trent and I received a clip of one. I haven't watched the complete episode of this. And then there was another movie that we received separately, but was recommended to us both. Yes. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about the wayward basketball wife and what is going on with that individual. What'd you call her again?
Loss prevention.
Loss prevention. And we're going to get into, is Hollywood abandoning diversity? I'm not sure.
Did they ever have it?
There are moments. Yeah.
Mm-mm. It was a nice buzz topic for 2020.
I mean, well, if you look at, again, the Emmy nominees, so while there may not have been the same number of black people that we've seen over the years, there's also like Ali Wong got nominated for her Netflix series Beef. Someone else from that series, and I think the actual series itself was
Beef
nominated.
was good.
Beef was
it
good.
Was good.
So, I mean, I think that there is, but to your point, it's when it's popular. And so there's been quite a change in the diversity and inclusion departments of several media companies. It started a couple of weeks ago. We don't know if it happened to coincide with the 14th Amendment when it was struck down.
Of course, come on.
These things were happening in and of and around it. But seems to be that era is coming to an end.
And it were like 5 black women too.
Right.
So come on.
We're gonna get into all of that and let you know who those individuals are.
Like it.
And plus, we're gonna talk to our Keep It Real friend because I got some questions.
Gotta keep it real.
Gotta keep it real always.
We're in perilous times.
Listen. Let me check out some of the chat because the chat is still lit. Also remind you, if you want to participate, if you have any commentary on anything that you've heard, 800-920-1580. You can check that out in the chat. We are talking, let's see, T. Sworn said he loves Tubi and that he's finding some diamonds in the rough. Well, send us some recommendations that we can check out and review here. Terry says Anita Baker has had a lot of talent, but outside of her talent and performances, she can be very catty. That is in reference to the alleged hell that Miss Anita used to give Luther Vandross when he was one of her backup singers back in the day and when they toured together. Now, I want to remind you of one thing. If you are in the LA area, Black Lives Matter is turning 10, and the People's Justice Festival is taking place on July 15th in Leimert Park. This Saturday from 12 to 6 p.m. There's going to be performances, a children's village, giveaways, speakers, vendors, and a healing justice space. And of course, some of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 talent will be in the well, it's not a building, but they'll be outside. We outside. So that's what's it. If you're in the LA area, make sure you come and check that out. We'll have all that and more that we mentioned, Tubi reviews and diversity and inclusion conversations, plus your Keep It Real friend. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Put in my name, what should play now? Any given day, I'll be headed to the pulpit. Say a little prayer, matter of fact, I need 2 of them. Ooh, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Ooh, this ain't 92, so we in the new rules. Yeah, we got hips, so we don't lose the projects. Out the hero there with my little cousin Marcus.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is visiting Finland after wrapping up a key NATO summit in Lithuania. Biden will hold a bilateral meeting with the president of Finland in Helsinki on Thursday. Finland officially became the 31st member of NATO in April, marking a major shift in the security landscape in northeastern Europe. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin will soon be returning to Cincinnati, Ohio, bringing training that aims to save sports players' lives. Back